Dear colleagues, this is Phaco emulsification of an immature cataract with small pupil. I didn't want to use adrenaline or any pupil expansion device in this case, and I wanted to complete the case without these devices, without these means. At this time the pupil appears to be dilated to about 4.5 millimeter, and I thought I will be able to complete the case without using anything. Now as I incise the capsule, I find that the capsular axis, if I go along the pupillary margin, the axis size may not be adequate. So what I do is I go beyond the pupillary margin. So this is actually blind axis. You don't see the how far you are going from the axis. Just by experience or just by your intuition, you do it. And most of the time you get an adequate sized axis. Now I do hydrodissection. I can see that the cataract is soft. Actually the patient is having proliferative diabetic retinopathy with a lot of fibrovascular proliferations from the optic nerve head, and there is vitreous hemorrhage which has partially resolved, and the patient is waiting for vitrectomy with endolaser, membrane peeling, and whatever is required. So here it is. The axis, hydrodissection, everything has been done. And now I go into the eye with the tip of the Phaco handpiece, remove some anterior superficial cortical lens matter, and now I try to chop this. Actually chop will not be possible. Just engage the tip there and try to slice the nucleus with the chopper. And I'm trying to separate the two halves, and I was partially successful. Now I sculpt and go to a deeper plane and try to separate it again. So I rotate it 180 degree, sculpt again, and I try to separate these into two halves, and ultimately I became successful. And once I could divide this nucleus into two halves, my hope, my expectation that I will be able to manage this rose. And here I go. I'm trying to hold one piece and trying to tumble it. I'm trying to tilt one heminucleus and trying to emulsify and remove one heminucleus. So what I am doing is I have taken this instrument which looks like the letter Y. I call it Y-shaped instrument. It's a very useful instrument to retract the iris, and I want to retract. I can see the rhexis margin, which is not very clear in the video. I could see the rhexis margin, and I am pulling each fragment. Yes, I could pull it. It has come at the center, and I could partially emulsify it. I came out, injected some visco, and went again. And here I pull and hold this nuclear mass and emulsified. At this time the size of the pupil has decreased further. At this time the pupil size is about 3 millimeter and now it is about 2.5 millimeter. Every time I do some maneuver, I retract the pupillary margin with the Y-shaped instrument and then do the maneuver under direct vision. And here it is. This is the last part of the nucleus. That's it. Now cortical cleanup was done. There's very little cortical matter left in this case. However, whatever was there, I removed it with Simcoe and checked it with Y instrument if it is there, and then I implanted this hydrophilic acrylic intraocular lens and I checked whether it is in the bag or not. Yes, it is in the capsular bag. And now I go behind the lens, remove the viscoelastic substance which is there in the capsular bag, come in front, remove the viscoelastic substance from the anterior chamber, and then hydrate the side ports from the anterior chamber and conclude the case. Dear colleagues, please don't be encouraged to do this for all cases. When you have done at least 1000 phacoemulsification, then you try this without using any pupil expansion device. It's always safer to use iris hooks in such cases. Thank you very much for your attention.